Welcome to the world of numismatic legends, where one tiny copper coin stands above all others as the ultimate dream for every collector. The 1909 SVDB Lincoln penny is arguably the most famous coin in American history. When the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to replace the older Indian head design, the United States Mint decided to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. The talented designer Victor David Brenner placed his own initials, VDB, on the reverse of the coin, right at the bottom. However, shortly after its initial release, there was a massive public outcry, claiming the initials were far too prominent and that they were a form of self-promotion. Due to this controversy, the Mint ordered the initials to be removed almost immediately after production began. This tiny design change is exactly what creates the incredible rarity that makes this specific coin the absolute holy grail of the hobby today. The San Francisco Mint only struck 484,000 of these coins, which is an incredibly low number compared to the tens of millions of standard pennies that were produced during that same year. Because of this extreme historical scarcity and its legendary status among collectors, the market demand is always consistently high. A typical example in decent circulated condition often trades for well over $1,000, while high-grade specimens in pristine mint state can easily fetch $5,000 to $10,000, or even much more depending on the certification. The absolute record for this magnificent piece of history was set at a major auction when an incredibly rare and perfect example reached over $160,000. It truly remains the undisputed king of all wheat pennies, and a coin that represents the absolute pinnacle of American numismatics. The 1955 double-die Lincoln penny is perhaps the most famous and easily recognized error coin in the history of American minting. Most people can spot a double-die coin only with a magnifying glass, but this particular penny is so distinct that you can see the error clearly with your naked eye. To understand why this coin is so special, we must look back to the Philadelphia Mint in 1955, where a massive production error occurred during the striking process. The die used to strike the obverse of the coin was misaligned during the manufacturing process, which caused the impression of the date and the words Liberty and In God We Trust to be stamped twice. This resulted in a very prominent and dramatic doubling effect that appears on the entire front of the coin, making it look like a ghost image. Experts estimate that about 20,000 of these coins were produced before the Mint realized the error and replaced the die. Because so many were mixed into circulation with regular pennies, many were spent or lost forever, leaving only a fraction of that number for collectors today. This extreme scarcity, coupled with its status as the most iconic error coin, keeps demand at an all-time high. If you are curious about the value, a decent example in circulated condition often trades for between $1,000 and $2,000, while high-grade specimens in beautiful mint state can easily fetch $5,000 to over $10,000. To give you an idea of the true potential of this piece, the absolute record was set at auction when a flawless gem specimen reached over $150,000. It remains the undisputed champion of the error coin market, and a piece of history that every single collector dreams of finding in their own change. The 1943 copper Lincoln cent is widely known as the most legendary rarity in the world of numismatics, because it should not even exist. During World War II, the United States Mint switched from using copper to zinc-coated steel to save copper for the war effort. However, a small number of copper blanks were accidentally left in the press hoppers and were struck with the 1943 cent dies, creating this incredible error. These coins are so rare that for decades, many people thought they were just fakes or post-mint fabrications. Today, only a few dozen are confirmed to exist, making them one of the most sought-after prizes in the entire hobby. If you are lucky enough to find one, The current market value for a genuine piece in circulated condition typically starts around $100,000 to $200,000, depending on the specific strike and quality. For high-grade specimens that are professionally certified as authentic, the price jumps significantly higher. The absolute record for this magnificent coin was set at a major auction when an elite example sold for $1,700,000. This coin represents the ultimate treasure hunt for any collector because it proves that even in the middle of mass production, a simple mechanical mistake can result in a $1 million discovery that changes someone's life forever. If you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatic history, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel for more stories about the world's rarest coins. See you in the next video.